city light, sipping on some syrup, I feel Canadian. City light, I might visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the City Life Project YouTube channel for yet another picks and predictions video. UFC Fight Night Blanchfield versus Fiorot starts in just a few hours here, and we're going to run down the card for some last-minute predictions here, preview, best bets, and all. If you're new to the channel, smash that like button and subscribe. We're going to cover this entire card, starting from the prelims all the way to the main event, taking your comments throughout chunks of this prediction video. Let's say what's up to who's here right now, and then let's get right into it. What's up, Jay? Hello, little guy. What's up, sis? What's up, Roman the Faster? Just put in a 4-leg Silva, Luque, Ruziboev, and over 2 minutes and 30 seconds in Chidi. If y'all want a tail, it's plus 284. There you go. There you go. Some best bets right off the bat. Big shout out to our exclusive members. Yo, what's up, Tomek? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Let's jump right into it. All right, first fight on the card here, ladies and gentlemen, we have Angel Pacheco against Colin Loughran. Now, no, Loughran didn't have the performance that we all thought he would have in his first fight in the UFC, but he is back, ladies and gentlemen. He is back. He is 8-1 as a pro, suffering his first loss in his last fight. He is the favorite at minus 375. Another Cage Warriors prospect coming into the UFC. 5 KO TKOs, 2 submissions, 1 decision. Again, didn't have the debut that we all thought he would have in his debut. 4-0 Cage Warriors, though, and honestly, pretty good prospect still. Very young. And he had a tall task up in front of him, a rangy guy in Taylor Lapilou, who didn't put him out, but did outstrike him. He also went 8-2 on the amateur scene. Angel Pacheco, 7-2 as a pro out of Minnesota, baby. Let's go. Plus 290. 7-2, lost his last fight, 4-1 in his last 5 fights as well. Doesn't train out of Minnesota, though. Trains out of the New England cartel out east. 4 KO TKO, 3 submissions. And 0 decisions. I like that. Finishes all his opponents. 1-0 in LFA, 0-0 in Contender Series. And he's also fought on the regional scene out east. Lost his Contender Series fight to Danny Silva, but getting the call here today against Loughran. Now, I actually like both of these guys. I'm a fan of Pacheco. But for my official pick, I am going with the favorite here. Minus 375 seems a little bit high, in my opinion. And I just say that because Pacheco's a dog. Pacheco's not going to be put out by Loughran. If anything, Pacheco has better striking than Loughran and is pretty well-rounded as well. The one thing that I think Loughran's going to have on him is strength. Is strength in grappling, especially up against the cage. I think that the Irishman will be able to drag him to the ground. I think he'll be able to control him on the ground. Just from a strength perspective, I think both of their technique is pretty on par. But yeah, the breaking point for me, the straw that broke the camel's back, it's just the strength. I think if it stays on the feet, Pacheco will be able to outstrike him. I don't think it's going to stay on the feet. I don't think this is going to be a brawl for the entire fight. I do think the Don will utilize his grappling here. Both of them are tough. This should be a great fight to start. All right, moving up the card. We have Andre Petrosky against Jacob Malkoun. What's up, Big Scott? What's up, Funkmaster? What's up, who else is in the live? 4 Ounce to Freedom. What's up, Zach? Andre Petrosky against Jacob Malkoun. Malkoun, 7-3 at, 7-3 as a pro. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Coming off a loss to Cody Brundage via that disqualification. That's right, Cody Brundage gifted a win and now gifted a fight on the main card against Bo Nickel. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. Andre Petrosky also coming off a loss to Michel Pereira. Petrosky is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, and he's the underdog at plus 200. The Pittsburgh, or is he Pittsburgh native? Regardless, the Pennsylvania native, 32 years of age, coming from the Ultimate Fighter. 4 KO TKOs, 4 submissions, 2 decisions. His only 2 losses have come via KO TKO, 5-1 in the UFC. Wow, he's already 5-1 in the UFC. He's been pretty active since 2021. And overall has looked pretty good in the UFC. Has competed in some grappling competitions as well, primarily Fury Pro grappling. The thing is, he hasn't really faced the best competition in the UFC. And I mean, the Gerald Meerschaert fight, you could make an argument that Meerschaert beat him in that one as well. Kind of a sloppy slugfest of a fight, but a fun fight nonetheless. I went back and watched that one. And again, I think Meerschaert won. But yeah, he got pieced up by Michel Pereira. Jacob Malkoun, strong and tough young man. He's younger than Petrosky at 28 years of age. 2 KO TKO, 0 submissions, 5 decisions. Only been knocked out once. Lost obviously disqualification and lost a decision. 3-3 in the UFC. I mean, both of them, Petrosky and him, have wins over that Diaz camp guy, Nick Maximov, who was cut from the UFC as he's not that good. Let's be perfectly opposite, or he's not that good to be perfectly honest. AJ Dobson, he has a win over Abdul Razak Al Hassan, which honestly, like the fact that he went the distance with him when he was only 4-1. I know Razak Al Hassan's not the most well-rounded guy, but a scary dude, and he took some damage in that one and just kind of shrugged it off. So he's very, very tough. I mean, most of these bigger Aussie guys are still relatively new in his pro MMA career as well. And I am going with the favorite on this one. I'm going with Jacob Malkoun. I think he'll be able to, well, I know he'll be able to withstand the early blitz, the early onslaught, that early just pace that Petrosky puts on his opponents. But the thing is, Petrosky, he just always gasses, man. He always gasses. Now, maybe his cardio is getting better, but regardless, I think Malkoun's tough enough, even if Petrosky had decent cardio, to withstand that pace, take a punch, and be able to deliver it as well. Neither guy is great. Both of them are good, but Malkoun is better in my opinion. Malkoun, more of a volume fighter, more of a volume striker, more of a guy who puts together the mixed martial arts throughout an entire fight rather than, leaning on a finishing ability, which he's not the most dangerous guy in that sense. So I think he probably will take Andre Petrosky into deep water, and later parts of the second round and definitely the third round, I imagine he's going to look better, get the better Petrosky, and win this fight via decision. Excuse me. All right, next one up the card here. We have Melissa Gatto against Bloody Butt Victoria Dudikova. 8-0 as a pro for Victoria Dudikova. She's a slight underdog coming in this one, despite being undefeated against Melissa Gatto off a 2-fight losing streak, but split and very close fight against Ariane Lipski. I know it was a unanimous decision for Tracy Cortez, but that was a good back and forth scrap as well. And then before then was on a 3-fight win streak. She actually beat Eubanks. So Eubanks is like a beast of a woman fighter. She's coming in as a favorite at minus 155. I mean, women's MMA could really go either way. Victoria Dudikova. I mean, if this was anybody else, she probably would have lost. Let's be honest, given that she was fighting with staff, and I don't even want to talk about it. Good win against Maria Silva on Contender Series. Again, she didn't finish her, and it wasn't completely one-sided, yet Dana White did give her the contract. Hopefully, I'm guessing they're hoping that they can market her well in this division. But you got to give her a flower. She did go 6-0 as an amateur as well. And hey, you got to give praise to someone who's undefeated. Melissa Gatto, 28 years of age, so not much older than Dudikova. Just more dangerous, in my opinion. 4 submissions, 2 KO, TKO, 2 decisions. Never been knocked out, never been submitted. 2-2 in the UFC. And like I said, her last 2 fights have been really, really close. I mean, Tracy Cortez, one of the better fighters in that division. Ariane Lipski, we know how dangerous she can be, and that one went split decision. That was a fun fight back and forth as well. And I mean, despite her record, Eubanks, like I said, is just a beast. And the fact that you can take a few big shots from her and put her out via body kick as well, I mean, that's nothing to to overlook. So I'm actually going to go with Melissa Gatto on this one. She's tough, good striker. Has only really lost to good opponents. Last 2 fights were close. Like I said, she actually has some finishing ability. All right. Before we dive into this one, let me just check on the comments and see if you guys got anything as well in regards to these ones. Hey, what's up, Hernan? Good to see you. Give me Gatto, get the dub. What's up, Pretty Flacco? What's up, Volcan? Called off work to be degenerate. Gonna make more money off this card than I can at work. Good to see you guys, JL. Petrosky will make it look easy. I like Petrosky's very Chad. Like, only in the first round, though. That's the thing. Only in the first round. And then it's like he's Giga Chad in the first round and then Soy in the second and third. Give me the dog only because of price. Maybe sprinkle Malkoon third round finish. Behind the scenes news on Petrosky, he has Ricardo Migliarese in his corner for the first time since he was in Art of War. Major key there. Okay. Maybe McGregor gets it done. I like it. Big Scott's saying over 2.5 plus 115 as well. Oh yeah, some of the odds might be a little bit different on DraftKings. I did my prep last night for this, so they've probably changed a little bit as well. Man, this fight is garbage. Let's go Pacheco. Love it. Keep the comments coming. What's up, GCN? What is going on? I only trust JL's main event picks now. All right, let's get to this next one. Ibo Aslan against Anton Turkalj. The pleasure man, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you know, based on his nickname, when he gets cut from the UFC, that OnlyFans is going to give him a deal based on that. I'm just saying. The way that the fighter's relationship with OnlyFans is going, based on his nickname, when he's cut from the UFC after his next loss, that he's going to get his check from them. But, make your money however you want, sir. Anton Turkalj, 8-3 as a pro. This one's near even. And by the way, Aslan's only loss came to Turkalj in Brave, where he got choked out. Turkalj, like I said, 8-3 as a pro. 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. 5 KO TKOs, 2 submissions, 1 decision. 0-3 in the UFC, and he had a good win off Contender Series. Got absolutely pieced up by Tyson Pedro. Got pieced up by Vitor Petrino. And Jelton Almeida laid on him like he does with everyone. Get Jelton Almeida out of the UFC. He's a disgrace to this sport. Anyways. He honestly, I liked his run in Brave, but he didn't go up against the best competition. His best win coming to Ibo Aslan. Where Ibo Aslan, not the best resume, and we'll dive into it here. He's out of Turkey, 27 years of age, just like Anton Turkalj. He's on a 4-fight win streak. Like I said, his only loss is to him in Brave. He's on a 4-fight knockout streak as well, but he's been crushing the cans, ladies and gentlemen. 12 KO TKOs, 0 submissions, 0 decisions. His striking is awesome. And you can even see that against some of the lower level competition that he's been up against. His win on Contender Series was great. And that's, I've watched that fight. There wasn't a lot to it, but I watched that fight a couple times, and it was just like, okay, he's got that magic touch. And I mean, it's just tough because there's not a lot of tape on him. I did watch this one. He was earlier in his career, and you can just tell that his striking is his bread and butter. I've watched a few interviews of him as well, and from what him and his camp have been saying, they've been working on the other elements of the game. Now, we know Turkalj is more of a grappler than a striker. Turkalj's striking is god-awful. It's horrendous. I have no idea what he's doing with his hands, but he's in the UFC, so what do I know? I'm going with Ibo Aslan here. Again, I think Turkalj is awful, personally. I really do. I think he leans on his grappling way too much. He's decent in his scrambles, but he's not as strong as Aslan. I don't know. It just seems like Aslan's so dialed here to get that win back and knock this Swede out clean. And I've never been a fan of Turkalj. Not to say like I'm a huge Ibo Aslan fan either. He has been crushing cans, but yeah, neither of them are super polished. I just think Aslan is going to eventually crack him. And I think because he's fought him before, because now he has some more tape on him in his UFC fights, I just imagine that Aslan has been preparing for this one and is way more motivated than that of a Turkalj who has beaten this guy before. You got to imagine that it's just not the same mentality going into this one. The odds are pretty close, but I am going with the favorite. I'm going with a lot of the favorites here tonight on this one. Get Turkalj out of the UFC. He's god-awful. All right. On to the next one. We have Virna Jandiroba against... Oh, whoops. I skipped one. I skipped a couple. My bad. Connor Matthews up against Dennis Bazooka. Now, Bazooka, awesome name. The controller against... he should have just been the Bazooka, the Great, but I guess his last name is the Bazooka, so kind of already has a nickname there. Dennis Bazooka, 11-4 as a pro. He's on a 2-fight losing streak right now, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. This one's pretty even as well as far as the betting odds go. Connor Matthews, 7-1, only 1 loss, and he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. 4 KO, TKO, 6 decision. Again, I did my picks last night, so I'm going off the odds I saw there, and there's a few that I sprinkled last night as far as money. So sorry, don't have the updated odds for you today. I did my prep before bed. 4 KO, TKO, 1 submission, 6 decisions. You guys are the gamblers anyway, so you guys know. 0-2 in the UFC, 1-1 in Contender Series, and 1-0 in Bellator. Lost to Jamall Emmers, lost to Sean Woodson, lost in both of his UFC fights. He did win on Contender Series, but didn't get a contract. Hasn't beaten the best competition in UAE Warriors or Cage Fury FC. He's got a few good wins, on the rise. And 9-6 guy isn't necessarily a good win, but you're 3-1 going up against a guy with that much experience. That's something to note. But then when you're 5-2 and you go up against, a guy 7-5, nice first round knockout, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I love the nickname. I just haven't been sold on the Bazooka. Connor Matthews isn't anything special either, but I do think he's more well-rounded. He doesn't necessarily have the experience on paper, but I do think he's in his athletic prime. I do think he trains with better guys. Now, I know he's at Longo Weidman, but there's a few active New England cartel guys that Connor Matthews trains with regularly that, I don't know, I just think are a bigger test than him. I don't think Bazooka's sparring going hard with the best of the best out of Serra-Longo, especially because a lot of that camp is spread out now, right? Yeah, Serra-Longo's their main camp, but a lot of these guys are spread out training at different gyms as well, whereas the New England cartel, they're all kind of very tight-knit in their group. On a 2-fight win streak right now. 1 KO, TKO, 5 submissions, 1 decision. From a primarily, striking-based camp, he actually has a really, really good grappling. And he went 3-0 in Cage Titans. The guy who he beat on Contender Series was really good, 10-0, Jair Farias. He beat an 8-4 guy before then, man. Lost to Francis Marshall when he was 5-0. And yeah, this is the craziest one. The fact that Jay Ellis is still fighting in 2021 is absolutely insane. Okay, amateur run as well, going 4-2. I mean, this is the battle of the meh. Guys. And I think Connor Matthews is a little bit... He's a little bit better in the meh category, so I'm going with Connor Matthews. Like I said, despite being from a striking camp and just gym there with a lot of really good boxers, he's really good at grappling. He mixes in mixed martial arts well. Like, he can use his grappling, he can use his striking to set up his grappling, and if he gets out of the clinch and on the clean breaks, he has some solid elbows, he has some solid combos in those situations. I don't think Bazooka is a dangerous finisher. I don't necessarily think Matthews is a dangerous finisher on his feet, but if he gets you on the ground, if he can control you, again, he does have 5 submissions. Mind you, not against the best competition, but I think he just has a little bit more tools, and I think he's a little bit more dangerous in that regard than Bazooka, which sucks because I wish the Bazooka had a great had more tools given how awesome his last name is, but he is younger. He still has some time to develop. All right, moving up the card here. Julio Arce against Herbert Overeem Burns. I say that because, like, look at the man. He looks more like Alistair than he does Gilbert. Let's be perfectly honest. Julio Arce did miss weight, and on his second attempt actually gained weight. I don't know who was manning the scales there, but anyways, crazy. But anyways, he's still fighting. I double checked last night if the fight was off or not, but it only missed by what, 2 pounds? 1.5 pounds and then 2 pounds, I think. Oh my goodness, that was crazy. Herbert Burns, 11-4 as a pro on a 2-fight losing streak right now. He has 3-2 in his last 5. 36 years of age for Herbert the Blaze Burns. 1 KO, TKO, 8 submissions, 2 decisions. He's still, I believe he still trains out of Singapore. He came over to the UFC from one championship where he went 5-2, 2-2 in the UFC. And he had a win on Contender Series. Lost to Bill Algeo in his last fight. Exhaustion from damaged base tapology. I love it. And before then, lost to Daniel Pineda. Upon entering the UFC, he beat Nate Landwehr. Ugh, I hate when I see Nate the Train losing. And then beat Evan Dunham. Now, Nate Landwehr, that's a pretty good win. And we'll talk about him soon as well. The M1 King. But Evan Dunham, meh. At best, took a step up in competition, lost Pineda, and Bill Algeo, I think, is a step up in competition too, because we'll talk about him. He's also on this card, and he's actually quite good. But I think Herbert Burns' best years are behind him. His best years were in one championship. Julio Arce, again, this whole card is the battle of the meh fighters overall. He's fine, nothing special, but a lot more experience than Herbert Burns, despite being a little bit younger. He's a Jersey guy as well. It's a Jersey thing. 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Lose one, win one, lose one, win one. Minus 400 though. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I don't really disagree because Herbert Burns ain't that good. He ain't that good. 5 KO TKOs, 5 submissions, 8 decisions. Pretty well-rounded win resume. 5-4 in the UFC, and he's also a Contender Series guy. Lost to Montel Jackson in his last fight. Beat Daniel Santos before then. Lost second round to Song Yadong. I mean, this one was close. I will say. Good win against Julian Eros. I mean, he's fine. Beat Dan Ige. Can't get over the hump of taking that next step up of competition in the UFC, but has kind of stayed in his lane and has traded wins and losses there. I am going to go with the weight bully. I'm going to go with Julio Arce on this one. I mean, I can't even call Herbert Burns a Burns because that's a disgrace to the name. That's a disgrace to his brother's name. Okay. He's older than Arce. Arce has more experience. Arce has decent enough grappling where I think he will be able to defend against what Herbert Burns will throw at him. He has way better striking. He's just way more well-rounded overall. Been there, done that. Fought guys as dangerous as this Burns. And yeah, I just think this is, I don't necessarily want to say easy work, but he's fought guys better than Herbert Burns. He should make not necessarily quick work or easy work, but he's not going to sweat too much in this one. I think Julio Arce takes it. All right, one more, then we'll get back to your comments here, guys. Virna Jandiroba against Lupita Godinez. Jandiroba is actually not that bad. She's actually pretty tough. She's pretty strong. A better grappler than a striker, but can hold her own on the feet. Where I think Lupita Godinez, really good boxer, and just though her wrestling is probably not as good and on the same level as Jandiroba, she's tough, hard to take down, and good at reversing positions. Even if she doesn't know what to do after she reverses, gets in, on top or reverses up against the clinch and doesn't really utilize it. We'll kind of go back to the striking, but she's strong, and I think she is a little bit tougher and stronger than Virna Jandiroba. But again, women's MMA, tough to pick. And Jandiroba 19-3. Again, not a bad record at all, going up against the 12-3 Lupita Godinez, who's a fair bit younger than Jandiroba. She's on a 4-fight win streak, 4-1 in her last 5 fights, and she's the pretty big favorite. 0 KO, 2 KOs, 3 submissions, 9 decisions. Never been knocked out, never been submitted. 7-3 in the UFC, which, I mean, that's not bad, man. That's not bad at all. 1-0 in LFA. Close win, but a good win against Tabitha Ritchie. Good win against Elisa Reed, Emily Njokuani, and Cynthia Calvillo, who I guess is just not a good prospect anymore. Remember the day when Cynthia Calvillo was actually like someone who were like, oh, maybe she'll actually be good in the division? No. Lost to Angela Hill, Luana Carolina, and Jessica Penne, but none of these women dominated her in the fight, right? And that's the one thing about Lupita Godinez. She doesn't get dominated. She doesn't get dominated. She holds her own. She is not super polished in all areas, other than, I guess, the boxing. And it's like pocket, like in range as well. But yeah, tough as nails. Virna Jandiroba on a 2-fight win streak right now. She is 3-2 in her last 5. She's plus 190, the underdog out of Brazil. She's 35 years of age. 1 KO, TKO, 13 submissions, 5 decisions, 5-3 in the UFC, 3-0 in Invicta. A good win against Marina Rodriguez. A good win against Angela Hill. Amanda Hebos somehow beat her. Amanda Hebos is awful, dude. She's so bad. I don't know who's saying she beat Rose last weekend, and I cannot stand Rose Namajunas. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. She was swinging that air, Rand. She was swinging that air. Yeah, some solid wins in her UFC run. Only lost to, a better grappler than her and Mackenzie Dern, Amanda Hebos, who just outmuscled her in that one, and Carla Esparza, who's just a better wrestler. So with that in mind, that's where I think Lupita Godinez, and why I think Lupita Godinez wins this. Though like her jiu-jitsu is not on the same level, though her wrestling is, technically not at the same level, she's stronger. She's stronger, and I think she'll be able to out-muscle her, even to get out of those positions, reverse those positions, and then get back to where she is best at, which is the striking. Now, she doesn't have a lot of power in her mitts, as we saw there. No KO TKOs in her pro MMA career, but I do think she does enough to get this one done. But again, as I have in my notes here, Jandiroba, not bad. I just think Lupita Godinez is a little bit better. She'll put the pressure on as well, especially on the feet. She sets a good pace. Never been dominated in her fights. And it seems like whenever Lupita Godinez is in a close decision, she usually gets the nod because she's just a little bit more active out there, a little bit more loud in her movements and her fighting style. All right, before we get to the next one here, the people's main event, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to some of these comments. All right. I won't read them all, bring them all on screen. I'm just going to sift through some of them. That Swedish guy is rubbish. Ebo gets it back. He was dominating until he gassed against the future OnlyFans model. How am I bitter? Almeida is awful, and he should be cut from the UFC. He's an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. What's up, Futile? What do you guys think about Bruno Silva? Oh, yeah. What do you guys think about this parlay? Funkmaster, yes, they fought before. Ruzi's also a bit risky. Even against Dumas, Ruzi hasn't really faced well anyone. Gonna make up for yesterday with a plus 200 parlay. Ebo, Malkoun, and Uzbek. Take Aslan. I just think Dumas is ass too. Loopy's a lock. Connor Matthews, best win is basically Jay Ellis. Loopy should win in my opinion, but women's MMA tends to bring out the worst in the judges. I want Dumas to keep winning. I know JL's a fan of Dumas for some reason. Yeah, I'm just giving live. What's up, Hoggy from home? Dumas be a draw. Oh my god, I was waiting for someone to say that. Did he like light someone's car on fire? Wasn't that the news story? Isn't Dumas out on bail? Yeah, I was reading. I mean, I sifted through a story this morning. I don't know if I can go against the pleasure man, but Volcan is making me question myself. Futile, I do have him as my lock, but I'll get to that here in a moment. The legacy of Jay Ellis continues, and I trust Uzbek, to be honest. He's on parole and house arrest. Oh my God, is he gonna come out with a freaking instead of ankle wraps? Is he gonna come out with a freaking little ankle beeper? Hey, what's up in the granite? Good to see you. New England Cartel are all tough as they come. Let's go. And on the run. Asam wanted this rematch for 4 years. What's up, Josh? Good to see you. That Ruse guy is 6'5", but only has 76 reach. Wow. It's very short for his height. Muscle weighs more than fat. You have Njokuani, 8'3" at 6'4". He misses weight, dead to me. I can respect that because you know me. If someone grabs the cage, they're dead to me. That Onama versus Nate scoring was such BS though. Onama 10-9 round. Onama and Nate were even on strikes, and Onama dropped Nate in the last 5 seconds. On my stream yesterday, I was laughing about this guy thinking Nate didn't win. I joined the stream. That's the first thing I see from him. All my homies hate Herbert. Yeah, Burns' his brother. GCM picks proving his acumen for knowing about Jay Ellis. I've talked about him before. I assume you know about him before that, though. Does Herbert have a crying episode when he loses? Oh, yes. Yes, twice now. Twice. Dumas trying to be like John Jones. Dumas definitely a thug. Miss weight shouldn't be any type of fighter. Are you watching Cage Warriors? I'm going to do a little bit of it after this. I have to leave around 4 p.m. Eastern because I have I'm in a wedding party and we have some dinner to go to. So after this, I'm going to shower, put on my dress shirt and dress pants, and basically just be streaming until the roommates say, we got to go. But good to see you, Chris Cushman. Good to see you. Onama's better than Emmers, just saying. I think Ruziboev is a safer bet than Aslam, but just because I'm a little bit biased. Like I hate Turkali. I think he's awful, but I might be a little bit biased there. So I think Ruziboev is the way safer pick, but I'll get to that here in a bit. By the way, big shout to everyone in the live chat. We've got a pretty good crowd for this pre-UFC affair. Keep the comments coming. I'll get back to them between some of the fights. And I know Cage Warriors starts in like 15 or so minutes. So like I said, I got to quickly jump in the shower after this, put on my dress shirt, do a quick little shave, and then I'm just literally going to jump on and watch fights with you guys. It's going to be a lot more chill until I have to go. Dumas will never grow on me. He's awful, JL. He's awful in and outside the cage. All right, next fight here. We have Jamall Emmers against Nate the Train, the M1 legend himself. Jamall Emmers, a pretty boy. 20-7 as a pro. He is 34 years of age. 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. But if you take a deep dive into Jamall Emmers' resume, my God, does he have some amazing wins. 8 KO, TKO, 3 submissions, 9 decisions. He's 3-3 in the UFC, 3-0 in LFA, and 0-1 on Contender Series. He beat the Bazooka quite handedly. Lost to Jack Jenkins, split decision. Jack Jenkins is a hell of a fighter. And I know there's some people who are making the argument that Jack Jenkins won that one. Had a great win and took the O from Ashkabov. Yeah, lost Pat Sabatini. Very close fight with Giga Chikadze. And before then was on a great run of 4. But yeah, let's just take a deep dive into a lot of these guys that he has fought. Has a win against Corey Sandhagen. Now I know this is 2017, but it's just like this just shows the experience that this guy has. Beat Corey Sandhagen. It's crazy that he lost, but he fought Thiago Moises on the regional scene and went almost 5 full rounds with him. Fought Alex Hernandez back in the day as well. Just don't sleep. I know he's getting older as well, but you can't sleep on Jamall Emmers. Nate the Train, Landwehr. All the homies love Nate the Train. 17-5 as a pro. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He is the underdog in this one. I love how he's out of MMA Masters as well. 8 KO, TKO, 2 submissions, 7 decisions. And I love his path to the UFC. Instead of fighting on the North American regional, crushing cans that his camp gives him, nah, he went into the belly of the beast arguably when M1 was at its peak. It's gone down now, and ACB and ACA have kind of surpassed it as the better Russian promotions. He went to M1, became their champion, and went 5-0. Upon coming into the UFC, good win against Darren Elkins. It sucks that he lost to freaking Herbert Burns on his debut. Julian Erosa had a good win against him. Julian Erosa actually had a really good win against him. Again, it's just tough to see, but he had a good win against Ludovic Klein, David Onama, and Austin Lingo. The Dan Ige fight was hard to watch, but and honestly, the Austin Lingo one, I'm glad he got the finish, but Lingo dropped him. I'm pretty sure twice. I know once for sure in that fight. So it's not like Nate the Train is chinny. It's like he doesn't go out, but he does get dropped. Like Dan Ige dropped him, and that's a little concerning. It's like he has a high guard employed at all times, but those straight punches right down the middle seem to land, and that's what scares me going up against a guy like Jamall Emmers, who's got a 74-inch reach, 4 inches more than Landwehr. He's not a lot taller than him. As I saw in the weigh-ins, I mean, they're pretty much around the same height there, but I can't believe I'm going to say this. I am going with Jamall Emmers, but I'm rooting for Nate the Train. I got to be honest with these picks and predictions, all right? I got to be honest. Even though I hate Turkali, like, I do think Aslan is going to win that one, and even though I love Nate Landwehr, I think Jamall Emmers is going to get the better of him. I think he's going to drop him a few times. I think those straight, rangy punches are going to tag him. Now, if this becomes a brawl, if Nate the Train can take away the distance, blitz, and fight in the pocket here, or hell, make this dirty, fight up against the cage, maybe employ some of the grappling, then there's a chance. But I just think this, I do think this goes the distance, and I think Emmers pieces him up with the jab, pieces him up with those step back straights and hooks. But like I said, I'm rooting for Nate the Train. Emmers is a dangerous striker. Let's be perfectly honest. Emmers has fought and beaten better competition throughout his entire career. Some great UFC and amazing regional wins. I love Nate the Train. I love his path to the UFC. I love that he went to the belly of the beast and fought some legit guys in M1 as well, but he just gets tagged too much. He does set a good pace, though. That's the thing. Nate Landwehr can fight at a high pace throughout like the whole fight. So maybe that's too much for Jamall Emmers, who like isn't necessarily known for his tremendous gas tank. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just, Nate Landwehr can go. Even after getting dropped, gets back up and continues to walk forward. I'm hoping for the upset. I'm hoping that the underdog takes it here. Two good vets throwing down. It should be a fun fight. This is the people's main event. All right, moving up the card here, we have Chidi Njokuani up against Rhys, McKee. What's up, Andrea? I picked Luque. This is the first time in a little while that Chidi Bang Bang is back at welterweight. I'm pretty sure he fought at welterweight in Bellator. And I mean, it looked like his weight cut went well. One of the reasons why he messed up his voice was actually because of him constantly trying to make that 170 weight limit, which he's absolutely huge, is the former kickboxer. Rhys McKee, he's a tall guy as well. So actually, this is going to be an interesting one because usually Rhys McKee fights guys who are a lot shorter than him. In this case, he's going up against a guy who's pretty much the same height and who has longer reach. Rhys McKee, 28 years of age, 13-5-1 as a pro. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Out of Cage Warriors as well. No decisions, 3 decisions, 10 KO, TKO. He is 0-3 in the UFC, though, so he needs this win. 6-2-1 in Bama. Shout out to all the real homies used to watch Bama. The real MMA fans used to watch Bama. If you never watch Bama, you ain't a real MMA fan. It's as simple as that. Fuck Cage Warriors. Bama was where it was at, ladies and gentlemen. 6-0 in Cage Warriors as well. Freaking lost to Ange Lusa. Bitch ass. Anyways, Jim Wallhead, Justin Burlinson, and Alexei Mantikivi. All decent Cage Warriors wins. I like the win over the 7-1 Justin the most. He knocked him out in the 3rd round. And that was arguably the better guy. This is his second UFC run, by the way. In his first UFC run, got absolutely torched by Khamzat Chimaev and then lost to Alex Morono. Now, I was watching a few predictions videos, and most of them didn't have anything bad to say about Alex Morono. I think Alex Morono is one of the better, he's one of the better guys outside the division. I just think he doesn't have the motivation to ever, be a champion, to, really, put his body and I don't know, training and put himself through the rigor of training to reach that level, but he's incredibly smart and talented. And I think he's one of the better guys in just outside of the top 15 in the welterweight division, respectively. I just think he's his worst own. He is his worst enemy in that case, where I think he could probably crack the top 15 if he focused more on his personal training versus coaching, because he's actually a really good coach as well. But Alex Morono, I don't think that's the worst loss. And obviously, Khamzat Chimaev isn't either. I don't like the Ange Lusa loss. And look, he's a good finishing machine. He's beaten some decent guys out east. Chidi Njokuani has not been on a good run here. He was beating Gregory Rodriguez until he gassed. He split his head wide open. We were seeing arteries. We were seeing veins. That shit was nasty. He was beating him early. But a great comeback win by RoboCop. Then lost to Duraev, split decision, close decision. I do think Duraev won that one. And then got TKO'd by Oleg Jacek. He's getting old, man, is the former kickboxer Chidi Njokuani. 14 KO TKOs, 1 submission, 7 decisions, 5-3 in Bellator, 2-3 in the UFC, 1-0 in LFA. He came off Contender Series. And even before this, where did he fight? It doesn't say here. He had a pretty good kickboxing career before this as well. Coming into the UFC, great win against Marc-Andre Barriault, good win against Todorovic, good win on Contender Series against Mario Sousa. But after that, again, he was on his way to beating Gregory Rodriguez, but wasn't able to get it done. Now, I'm going with Chidi Njokuani to get back in the win column here. Again, guys, I'm not really going off the page here with any crazy big underdogs on this one. Rhys McKee doesn't really have good head movement. Kind of just leaves himself wide open as he charges. And he does have some good power, but I think with and he does have a pretty big reach as well. Chidi, he's just so freaking long. Not long enough where he's going to keep Rhys McKee on the outside, but I think they are going to exchange distance strikes. And when Rhys McKee blitzes in, I think that, kickboxing pedigree, that kickboxing style of Chidi Njokuani will help him here, as he's really good with the hooks, those counter hooks. He's really good with those step back straights, and he's got amazing and underrated kicks as well. And I don't think Rhys McKee's faced anyone who has as good leg kicks, body kicks, and shit, we might even see some nice high kicks by that of Chidi Bang Bang. If Chidi Bang Bang loses, going back down to welterweight here to try to revitalize his UFC career, it might be the beginning of the end for him. But this one should be fun. I can't see this one going the distance. So again, Chidi Njokuani, that is my pick, locking it in. All right, we'll hit up one more here before we go back to the comments. We got Bill Algeo against the Canadian and new father, Kyle Nelson. Kyle the Monster Nelson. The decision king. I feel like this guy always sneaks out a decision, even when maybe he doesn't deserve it. But he is 2-1-2 in his, or I guess 2-2-1, one draw in his last 5 fights. He is the pretty big underdog here at plus 200, going up against Bill Algeo. Funny enough, he's actually I thought Bill Algeo was younger than him. Kyle Nelson's actually a little bit younger than him. He is the Huntsville, Ontario native. 34 years of age for Bill Algeo, who is 18-7 as a pro, and he is 4-1 in his last five fights. The monster, Kyle Nelson Emov. 5 KO TKO, 4 submissions, 6 decisions. So a pretty balanced resume there. 3-4-1 in the UFC and 3-0 in RXF. Beat Fernando Padilla, beat Blake Bilder. Draw with Doohoo Choi. Now, Doohoo Choi got a point taken away in that one, and that is the only reason that Kyle Nelson went to a draw with him. Lost to Jai Herbert and Billy Quarantillo. It doesn't just really have the best names as far as victories on his on his UFC or MMA resume. But the fact that he's still here and is on a 2-fight win streak is why he's still in the promotion. Bill Algeo has been on a pretty fun heater as of late. He's a pretty big favorite, as he should be. Everyone's saying McKee getting KO'd. Yeah, okay. Or McKee getting KO'd. Yeah, we're all on the same page. 4 KO, TKO, 7 submissions, 7 decisions. He's 5-3 in the UFC. Fought in the World Series of Fighting back in 2013. And he actually lost his fight on Contender Series. Great win against Alexander Hernandez in his last fight. Beat TJ Brown. Lost to Andre Philly, but you could make the argument that he beat him. That was a very close fight. That was a very fun fight. I encourage you guys to go and watch that one, actually. That was a very fun back and forth fight. Beat Herbert Burns. Fuck you, Herbert Burns. And had a good win against Joanderson Brito as well. Beat Spike Carlisle, who was actually pretty good at that point in his career. I mean, Spike Carlisle, he's a fine fighter. He's just one-dimensional. Very much a grappler. Doesn't have much of a striking game. And if he goes up against a guy who's a better grappler than him, like we saw against AJ McKee, like we saw against, who did Spike Carlisle? He fought someone in Ryzen recently who just out-grappled him as well. Look, this just shows how unbiased I am with my picks. I'm not picking Kyle Nelson here. I'm picking Bill Algeo. The one thing about Kyle Nelson, though I love him just because he seems like such a good old Canadian boy, seems like such a great man, such a great father. He literally just had a kid like a couple weeks ago. Or maybe it was even like, no, it was like 2 weeks ago. So he's got that new dad like strength and motivation, right? I feel like every dad who has a kid, they're like, okay, I gotta get back into provider mode. You know, they just got that little extra edge. So I mean, I'm not saying that should influence your guys' betting at all. I'm just pointing it out. There, all right? I even have my notes here. New dad motivation, ? No, but to be perfectly honest, Bill Algeo, he's way better. Great footwork. He's got that Chromio style fancy footwork. Even though he's not the best striker, I would say that Kyle Nelson is the better boxer, is the better striker than him. But Bill Algeo, he's funky in the way he moves. He's funky in his entries, and his grappling is so much fun. I mean, he's a, I don't want to put him in a wizard category, but he's just funky. I think that's the best way to describe him. He's hard to hit because he's always moving. I imagine he's hard to prepare for. And the fact that Kyle Nelson is just good, not great anywhere. Good in his striking, but basic fundamentals. I don't think he's going to be able to hit Bill Algeo unless he takes away his angles and pressures him up against the cage, where then Bill Algeo might take advantage of the clinch and bring him to the ground. Way more dangerous in the grappling and has some submission tools. Somehow, though, Kyle Nelson continues to sneak out decision victory. So we'll see how this one goes, but Bill Algeo is my pick. All right, before we get to this next one, let's take a look at the comments here. I got Landwehr Emmers under 2.5 plus 216. Turkali and Aslan both awful. Dogger pass. Told him one record is sketchy. God was testing Dumas. Have you went over everyone? I'm going in order, buddy. Ganskow. You should go to wedding. It's not a wedding. It's like the wedding party is all meeting for like a dinner or something. Take Emmers. Should he beat Corey? Nate versus Onama is the greatest thing I saw in the Octagon. I rewatch it at least once a month. It was such a fun fight. I missed the Luque prediction. Yeah, I took Luque. I have a feeling Pledgeman breaks his losing streak. I assumed as much. His good takedown defense, and Virna's coming off a double knee surgery. Oh, I even missed that. I didn't even know she was coming off a double knee surgery. Well, then there you go. That reinforces my pick. Virna champion. Hey, I love the support. McKee's very punchable. Chidi gonna banged. McKee absorbs 9.47 strikes per minute. Oh my god. Chidi kills McKee. McKee getting KO'd. Guys, don't worry. Aslan ain't losing. So Algeo fighting Case or Karate Combat got the win. Then trashed the crowd. It was so. Oh wait, it was a Kansas City you said, or Karate Combat? I know you're a Karate Combat fan. That's where my mind goes. But I'm guessing you mean Kansas City. It was so fucking funny because everyone still cheered. Support Manon. What's up, Peak Master? Salut. I got 4 units on Aslan. CTE McKee. How can people say dog or pass in a pick'em match? Isha says bet the house on Kyle Nelson. Dad. Funkmaster, don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, Funkmaster. Oh, I love that. That made my day again, Scott. I mean, usually we don't do comments of the night on prediction streams. But you guys are awesome, by the way. What a great crowd here. And I mean, you guys gamble more on MMA than I do. I drop a few bets here and there. I just love doing these picks and predictions videos. It gives me an excuse to, really dive into the card and another excuse to hang out with you guys prior to the UFC event. So big shout out to you all. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. I know it's a thinner weekend of streams as I have this wedding dinner that I'm going to. When I come back, we'll fire up UFC and hopefully it worked. I paid $35 for Pancrase. Hopefully I can get that shit working because last time I couldn't. Over the Christmas break, I lost $30 trying to watch Pancrase. We're taking another shot at it. Hopefully we'll be able to watch the Pancrase card tonight, which starts at around 1 a.m. Eastern, I think. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. We have Nursulton Ruziboev against Sedriques Dumas. 9-1 for Sedriques Dumas in his pro MMA career. He is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, 33-8-2 for the Uzbekistani. Training out of Pennsylvania, though, Philly, is Ruziboev. Dumas, the Reaper, 4 KO TKO, 2 submissions, 3 decisions, 2-1 in the UFC, 1-0 in Contender Series. Beat Abu Azaitar. Azaitar, I believe, was coming off a 3-year layoff. Azaitar looked good in the first round. He faded quick. Dumas took advantage of that and was able to get the unanimous decision. So good for him in that one. He beat Cody Brundage, but who hasn't via unanimous decision? Cody Brundage, the absolute disgrace of Factory X. I mean, literally, like, is Cody Brundage not like the only bad fighter coming out of Factory X? I mean, seriously. And then he lost to Josh Frem, dude. He lost to Josh freaking Frem via guillotine choke upon winning on Contender Series, ironically via guillotine choke. He's got wins as a regional fighter. And honestly, he has better wins as an amateur, bro. He's got better wins as an amateur going 9-1. I mean, come on. Now, though Ruziboev, though his resume is kind of hit and miss in the sense that he beats a really good opponent and then he beats a can. Beats a really good opponent, beats a can. I mean, that's the Middle Eastern regional scene for you, right? There's some really good diamonds in the roughs there, but if you want to stay active, if you want to stay paid, you're just going to have to keep taking fights. This ain't North America, right? This ain't North America. You're going to have to keep taking fights to stay paid, to stay active, to keep developing. And I think that's the case for him. As we've seen him in the UFC, we've seen him at higher levels beat really, really good opponents. 11 KO TKOs, 20 submissions, and only 2 freaking decisions. Fought in ACB, UFC, amongst a ton of other promotions. Octagon with a C, Alash Pride. I mean, those are promotions where a lot of Uzbekistanis, Kyrgyzstanis, Tajikistanis, and Kazakhs go and fight as well. Beat Bruno Ferreira, took his O in his last fight and actually knocked him out in the first round. That was his UFC debut, and he was coming off a win against a 12-12 guy. But before then, beat a 13-4 guy, right? Then and a 15-2 guy before then. But then 20, 10, 4-4. But then an 8-3 guy who, again, doesn't have the exact same experience as him, but a solid guy in Brave, and he slammed him to get the knockout, which was unbelievable. Fought an open fighting championship too, which is actually an underrated Russian promotion. There's a lot of fuckery that goes on in that promotion, but there are some really good opponents there. But that's just the story of this guy. He'll beat, an undefeated guy. He'll go the distance with an 18-4 guy and then get a fight against a 0-1 guy and absolutely destroy him, right? So that's the story of his career. But even mixed in a lot of these cans that he's beaten, there are some really good guys as well. Look, man, this one shouldn't even be close. Man. Ruziboev is going to smash this guy. He's going to destroy him, ladies and gentlemen. He's a miles better than him. way more experience. Like I said, not the worst record if you actually, or resume if you actually dive into it. Way more well-rounded. I truly believe he's stronger, and he's just as big as him, man. He's just as big as him. I mean, Dumas beat a washed Zaitar and the worst fighter to come out of Factory X that I've ever seen. This would be, I don't care what the odds say. This would be the biggest upset on the card, even more than if Chris Weidman gets a win, if Dumas beats Ruziboev. Honestly, like that would be absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm going to Ruziboev. That's my pick, locking it in. Moving on to the next one. We have Bruno Silva. I just don't understand what you even see in him, JL. I really don't. Like I said, I'm not even biased. I'm calling it how I see it. I have no idea what you see in that guy. Chris Weidman, the All-American, back again. He came back in his last fight and got his legs pieced up again, but nothing broken, thank God. Going up against the dangerous Bruno Silva. Now I know Bruno Silva, same record as Weidman in his last 5 fights. Each of them only have a win in the last 5 fights, but obviously Weidman a lot of time between his fights. He fought Brad Tavares 7 months ago. Again, he went the distance with him, but Brad Tavares just pieced him up. Obviously, we know what happened against Uriah Hall 3 years ago. Before then, got a win over Omari Akhmedov. Lost Dominic Reyes and Ronaldo Souza before that. He is the underdog at plus 195. He's almost 40 years of age, man. Where is time going? He is training in Carolina now with a Wonder Boy. So he does his camps there, but he will have Ray Longo in his corner. Punch a hole through his chest. 6 KO, 2 KOs, 4 submissions, 5 decisions, 11-7 in the UFC. He's the former champ, 4-0 in ROC. And yeah, like I said, I mean, there's not much really to dive into. For those of us who watched MMA back in the day, all my homies are going to cry. What's up, chat? Are going to cry for Chris. Yeah, I know. We know how good he was, man. But I mean, he's been on the decline since 2015. Since Luke Rockhold took the belt, he's been on the decline, man. He had a tough fight against Yoel Romero. Gegard Mousasi in his prime. You know what's crazy is Gegard Mousasi was in his prime when Gegard Mousasi was 41-6-2. How fucking crazy is that? He did have a good win against Kelvin Gastelum. And Kelvin Gastelum, he even looked good in that fight. That's a good fight, actually, to go back and watch. But yeah, this was like the beginning of the end, the Yoel Romero and Mousasi losses. And then obviously, had some steam, had some helium coming in after the Akhmedov fight. And then he suffered that tragic leg break. And it was good to see him back against Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares doesn't necessarily have the finishing ability that a Bruno Silva has. So that's why I'm a little scared for this one. But he's not on the best run either, like we highlighted. 20 knockouts, though, ladies and gentlemen. 20 freaking knockouts, 0 submissions, 3 decisions. And that's what scares me, man. That's what scares me. 4-4 in the UFC. Lost a decision to Shara Magomedov. I don't know. That one was closer than I think we all thought upon looking back on it. Shara did win, but closer fight, I guess, than MMA Twitter, than the media makes it out to be. Brendan Allen absolutely tore through him. He got a win against Brad Tavares. Meerschaert beat him. Pereira took him to a decision, so it just shows that he's also pretty tough. And he went on a pretty good run before then. Shout out to M1, baby, where he beat Artem Frolov and Alexander Shlemenko. Oh my God, he fought Alexander Shlemenko. That is hilarious. Honestly, Alexander Shlemenko wouldn't even surprise me if that guy's still fighting. He's not good, but he's a freak of nature. But anyways, yeah, Bruno Silva's nothing special, but he's dangerous in his punching, right? He's dangerous in his striking. Oh man, I'm just scared, man, because this is one that might. Oh, what's up, MMA Locks? We go here. This is one that might not go the distance, and if it doesn't go the distance, dude, we know how it's gonna end. I'm picking Bruno Silva to win. I'm crying as I say it, but I'm picking Bruno Silva to win. This is literally what I have in my notes, dude. I'll show you guys. I'll show you the first word I have in my notes. Whoops. is fuck. That is the first thing I have in my notes is fuck. Father Time catching up to all of us. He survived his comeback. That was Chris Weidman against Brad Tavares. Man, it's like Bruno Silva's going to continue to throw leg kicks. Let's be perfectly honest. Like, I'm sorry. They know there's respect, to your opponent as a martial artist. There's respect to your opponent as a fighter. He's not going to show him respect and not go for the leg kicks. He's got way more power. He's younger than him. This is a dangerous fight. I mean, I haven't seen Chris Weidman try to utilize his wrestling or successfully utilize his wrestling in years. And I know he was off for a few years, but like even before that, he tried with Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares, I know, is very good with the takedown defense. So maybe Chris Weidman gets a takedown on Bruno Silva and just lays on him. And to be honest, this is the only time where I'm really rooting for that to happen. I hope Chris Weidman just freaking wet blankets this guy, because that's the only way he's going to come out of this fight unscathed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm picking Bruno Silva, but I'm rooting for the All-American USA, Chris Weidman. All right, let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. We'll get through these last two fights, and we'll take your guys' comments for a little bit here before we wrap up. I also have the safe and degenerate parlay of the week. The safe ain't actually that safe, but the degenerate one is going to be a lot of fun. So stick around another 10 minutes for that. And again, really appreciate everybody in the comments here. I'll get back to your comments here in a moment. All right, Vicente Luque up against Joaquin Buckley. Luque is back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, is he the freaking war dog that we saw in his early years? No, he's fighting a little smarter now, He had a good win against Rafael Dos Anjos. Not the most exciting win, but a good win nonetheless, going up against Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley, 17-6-0 as a pro. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Dangerous, but not necessarily in his punches. He's dangerous with his kicks, low kicks, and he likes just to do those crazy things. I mean, he's going to be on a highlight reel forever. Now, can he recreate that against the highest level competition? Probably not. We haven't seen it yet. But again, 12 KO, TKO, 0 submissions, 5 decisions. I just don't like how he leaves his head out there, especially when he sees other guys implement a high guard. He seems to rush and look for that. It's like he smells blood too. It's like he smells blood when the cut's not even open yet, when it's just a scratch. And he charges in and leaves himself wide open. I mean, that's how Chris Curtis caught him. A lot of guys land beautiful hooks on him as well. So that's just one thing I've noticed about him, rewatching a little bit of his tape. 7-4 in the UFC, 3-2 in Bellator, 2-0 in LFA. Good win against Alex Morono. However, I would have liked to see him finish Alex Morono to kind of make a statement that, I am him in this division. I'm not going to be a guy who just hangs outside of the top 15. Beat Andre Fialho. Oh, that one's tough to gauge because Fialho just doesn't have a chin anymore. Lost to Chris Curtis, lost to Nasruddin Imavov. Beat Albert Duraev, which is a good win. And also beat Abdul Razak Al Hassan, but again, split decision. He didn't get knocked out, but Razak didn't land anything really clean. Arroyo is meh. And this one's bad, man. This one was bad. This one was really bad. Did Chirico retired last year or the year before? I think he retired a year later. I don't know. That one wasn't a good one, but he does, again, that amazing win against Impa Kasangane. Oh my God, we're never going to forget that. Vicente Luque, despite being just a little bit older than Joaquin Buckley, he's been fighting for a long, long time. Obviously, scary injury regarding his brain just a couple of years ago, but seems to have shaken the cobwebs off, seems to have gotten his confidence back, and he's back up against, a seemingly dangerous opponent here, which is why I'm saying he has his confidence back. I don't think he'd take this fight against Joaquin Buckley if he wanted to just easily wrestle fuck another guy, an old man, to a victory. This one seems like, okay, I'm back to challenge myself. 22-9-1 as a pro, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. And again, he's coming off a win against old man Rafael Dos Anjos. 11 KO, TKO, 8 submissions, 3 decisions. What a great balanced career. He's only been knocked out once, 2 submissions and 6 decisions, but he's been in some absolute wars, ladies and gentlemen. 15-5 in the UFC. Dude, again, 15-5 in the UFC. That is awesome. He's supposed to fight Sean Brady on this one. He's supposed to fight Ian Gary before. Both of those fell out, so now he's against Joaquin Buckley. Got brutally knocked out brutally finished, I should say, by Jeff Neal. Bilal Muhammad somehow beat him, unanimous decision. That one was tough to watch. Before them was on a great win streak. Only really lost to really good opponents. And yes, I'll put Bilal Muhammad in that category. He's on a hell of a win streak. He's title contender. So if you look at his UFC run, he's only lost to, former or current champ, I should say, two-time title challenger, soon to be title challenger, and just an absolute beast in Jeff Neal. I think Buckley's dangerous, and that's a risky fight for Luque. I think Luque is just so much more well-rounded, has so much more experience, and has fought guys of Buckley's caliber and better before. And I think Buckley is just not polished enough to be able to beat Luque. Now, is he polished enough to land a good one and knock him out? Absolutely, he's got that power. And I don't think his straight punching power is as strong as everyone thinks, but he's got good combos, and I love his leg kicks, man. I love his leg kicks. I love how when he goes to the body as well. Shoot, even those side kicks that he throws are really fun and seemingly very powerful. Having said that, I think Luque is prepared for this one. He's prepared for a guy like him. Been there, done that. Seen these type of strikers before. Seen these kind of unpolished, more talent-based, and quite frankly, a little bit more reckless strikers like Buckley. And if Luque wants to employ his wrestling, he's bigger and stronger than him. So I'm going Luque here. That is my pick. That one could burn me, but I'm confident that Vicente is back. All right. Main event of the evening. It should have been Nate Landwehr, but that's okay. We have Erin Blanchfield against Manon Fiorot. I haven't seen Roadhouse yet. No, I haven't. I haven't had time to do anything, brother. I don't have time to watch TV. I barely have time to watch all these fights. Someday I will catch up on TV and movies, but my life does not allow me to watch TV and movies anymore, buddy. I have -5 time. I was going to say I have 0 time. I have -5 time I barely have enough time to sleep. I got 3 hours last night, though. I got 3 hours. So, guys, please be proud of me. It's better than the 1 hour average I've been getting throughout the week. Erin Blanchfield up against Manon Fiorot, the Beast, La Beast. I don't know why it's the Beast. It should be La Beast since she is Francais. 11-1 as a pro against the 12-1 Erin Blanchfield. This is your classic striker versus grappler. However, Manon Fiorot, really, really good takedown defense. Erin Blanchfield, not the worst on the feet and employing the ground and pound either. So this one should be fun. 10 years the elder is Manon Fiorot, and it looked like she had a brutal weight cut. She's a slight underdog here, representing France. 6 KO, TKO, 0 submissions, 5 decisions. I love how she fought in UAE Warriors, man. I love how she fought in UAE Warriors, and she's 6-0 in the UFC. Beat Rose Namajunas, close fight. Beat Caitlin Chukagian. Both of those went Serminara, right? She changed her last name. Finally changed her last name, she said. Unanimous decision. Beat Jennifer Maya. I mean, she has been taking out the best in the division, right? Chukagian's always at the top, like always in the top 5. Rose Namajunas, again, moved up in weight, but as much as I hate Rose Namajunas, can't deny that she's one of the better women's fighters in the UFC. Jennifer Maya, pretty good. Maya Bueno Silva, big girl, hard to control, hard to beat there. Tabitha Ritchie, really good and slick striking. I mean, you can't deny that she's on a really good run here, and this is deservingly a top contender fight, a title eliminator fight for both of these women. Now, the young prospect, Erin Blanchfield, 24 years of age, again, 10 years the younger. She's the favorite here. Really, really good record, too. 2 KO, TKO, 4 submission, 6 decision. What's up, CST? Good to see you, Phil. Thanks so much for all the support you show the channel. I'll get back to you guys' comments here in a sec. 2 KO, TKOs, 4 submissions, 6 decisions. 6-0 in the UFC, 4-1 in Invicta. Beat Tyler Santos, man. Beat Tyler Santos. Jay says she looked like shit against Tyler Santos. Bro, Tyler Santos is really good. That was, in my opinion, her biggest test in the UFC thus far, and she still got away with a unanimous decision in that one. So, yeah, she didn't look as dominant against a girl who should have dethroned Valentina Shevchenko. Be more critical, JL. Be more critical, brother. Absolutely destroyed Jessica Andrade. Absolutely destroyed Molly McCann. We all knew that one was going to happen. Beat JJ Aldrich. I liked that one. Beat Miranda Maverick and just absolutely out-grappled her in that one. Yeah, Brogan Walker. She was actually pretty good. Beat her as well. And her only loss is coming to Tracy Cortez in Invicta. And Tracy Cortez, one of the better fighters in her division, respectively. This one for me, this all comes down to how good is Fior's takedown defense. Now, up against the cage, I think Fior's is tremendous with her defense. She's so good at not allowing opponents to get the body lock from the underhooks. She's so good at reversing clinch position up against the cage. And if anyone switches for a double or single leg, again, with her ass and back up against the cage, her balance and the way she pivots that wide stance to center her gravity, you cannot deny how good she is there. It's in open water. It's those blast double legs, those blast single legs that are going to be the issue in this case, because Erin Blanchfield is so quick and so strong with those. And I think that's where Erin Blanchfield will look to take her down. I don't think Erin Blanchfield is going to want a dirty box with her up against the cage or in the clinch. I think Erin Blanchfield, if she's smart, will want to take her down in deep water and not have any cage around her to work to pass guard and impose her will. If Manon keeps it on the feet, she's way better in the striking department. She can piece girls up. So that's what it comes down to here. And I trust that Erin Blanchfield will get those takedowns in open water. And even if she does have to weather a little bit of a storm up against the cage, or if Manon stuffs a couple of the first takedowns and cracks her a couple times, this is a 5-round fight. There's a lot of time, and I think that will favor Erin Blanchfield's game over that of Manon. Again, 10 years younger, though Manon's good grappling defense, and though both of them have amazing records, this is the boxer versus grappler affair. Manon on the feet wins. I do think eventually this goes to the ground. I think this goes to the ground. I think once Erin gets the takedown, she'll have an easier time getting more takedowns. Manon's not the worst underdog, though, just because if she does utilize her takedown defense properly, she will outpoint Erin Blanchfield. I don't think she's going to finish her, but she will outpoint her on the feet. Blanchfield's pace and pressure is outstanding. I know Manon had a tough weight cut. And though JL says she looked like shit, dude, when you out-grapple Tyler Santos, who's a big girl, man, that has to count for something, and that's why she earned this shot. So I'm going with Erin Blanchfield here as my pick. All right. My safe parlay of the week and degenerate parlay of the week brought to you by our friend Volcan in the live chat. Again, the safe parlay, it's actually not as safe as in weeks. I bet on the safe parlay twice, or our last two prediction videos, and I didn't win much with them because that's the nature of the game. They're safe parlays for a reason. But the degenerate one is fun, bro. The degenerate one is fun. Let me know what your sports books have the degenerate parlay at, because I'm curious. But let's start with the safe parlay. And again, it's not super safe, but I'm going with Bruno Silva, Jamall Emmers, and either Erin Blanchfield or Connor Matthews. You guys decide. Degenerate parlay, we're going to Herbert Burns, Sedriques Dumas, and Kyle freaking Nelson. Here for today. Smash that like button and subscribe. And let's get back to some of these comments before we hang up the gloves. And try to do a little Cage Warriors before I have to go. I did a parlay with your picks. If it hits, I'll send you 10. Oh, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. 7-leg Dumas. Parlaying $1,000 on your predictions. Oh, God. Get this thug off the screen. The Reaper, now the criminal. Oh, yeah, this thug will lose the largest Asian in the world. He killed Bruno. He can kill Dumas. JL, I don't know what you see in him. Dumas road to the strap. Welcome to the... Okay, you're trolling now. Send me the tape. Back it up. Send me the tape on Discord. I want to see. What's up, Alexander? Erin to win and over 4.5. Ruziboev by KO, TKO sub. Chidi to win. Nate the train over 2.5 round. Keep doubt. Oh, I will doubt him till the end of time. I've actually watched film. Silva versus Weidman over 1.5. Easy money. JL saying fuck Weidman. Jeez, the disrespect to the old fighters continues. What's more of a lock, Luque or Silva? Asking for a friend. Probably Silva. All my homies are gonna cry for Chris. I think Chris might retire if he takes an L. Yeah, me too. Storm, baby. Hey, and it's a good thing to see you. Lots of dog money. Give me Weidman by submission. Bro, actually, again, if I was a gambling man, like you guys, I would, if I was that much of a degenerate, I'd probably drop a little something on that, not gonna lie. I'm taking Chris as one of the dog picks. God, you guys are awesome. I love this. Bragg 5 the takedown. Don't think Silva can do the same. No, that's true. Weidman will survive if he can get it. If he can get and keep the takedown. Bruno Silva's BJJ shit. Should be ashamed to be Brazilian. I know he's like the only Brazilian who wasn't born in a gi. Quite literally, he's the only Brazilian I've ever seen who did not come out of the womb in a gi and with 2 stripes on his white belt. Might be a banger. Have a sizable bet on Buckley. Think people undermining the power and momentum Buckley has, physical ability to rough up Luque. I just don't think he's polished enough, but you're totally right there. Base Chris Cushman here. Algeo, terrible style matchup for Nelson. I've trained in the same gym as Nelson before. He's tough, but struggles against fighters like Algeo. Finished him in round 2 or 3, in my opinion. Yeah, Kyle Nelson, he just seems like such a good dude as well, but very basic. And I don't mean that disrespectful. Like, he's good everywhere. He's not great everywhere. And Algeo loves to move around, bounce around. Taking Chris is an obligation for a Chris. You were going to have to take him no matter what. Not bad. Grilling right now. Ooh, what you grilling? Panthers down 1-0 to the Red Wings. Do I hammer Florida -110? I would say so. Larkin out too. I'd take the Panthers. Bilal styled on his ass. I went back on that. Panthers are golden goose for me. I never lose parlays that I have them on. Bilal embarrassed him. Buckley's medicine. Experience is only valid to a point. All that experience comes with wear and tear, and every fighter starts to digress. I think this is a simple fighter on decline against a fighter on the rise. See, I don't think Buckley's on the rise. I think Buckley is Buckley. You know what I mean? Not that I'm saying he's never going to get a little bit better, but I just don't see it. He's too reckless and too... he's unpolished for me to trust him. But you've said it. I'm not going to deny that Luque is not the Luque that he was when he was that war machine. Luque stronger than Buckley, sir? I think so. I mean, who's Buckley out-wrestled? Buckley might have better muscle definition. Doesn't mean he's stronger. Might be funny to do a watch-along live stream. Oh, for Roadhouse? I could do that. I could make time to do that. I'll make time to watch movies and shows if it's on if I can get YouTube content out of it. Who beat Gary? I can't remember the name. Only one thing comes to mind is Bill. Yes, Bilal Hassan is the real Bilal. Bilal Hassan is the only Bilal who I remember his name. Wish I was grilling Chris. I'm having a bacon, egg, and cheese. I made mindlessly watching this. It's rainy here, so I'm using that as an excuse to do nothing till I work out and watch UFC. It's sunny as hell right now in Minnesota. It's nice. Or in Minneapolis. Cold-blooded season. Bilal. Oh, man. Bilal is the GOAT. I can't wait to see Bilal kick Bilal's ass in the UFC. 34-year-old French kickboxer. Blanchfield makes easy work of it, in my opinion, and the weight cut. Yep. What's up, Kane? Good to see you. I've been on here. Erin is young. Erin's still new if Manon wins. Good to see you, Combat Sports Today. My boy, Phil. Big shout out to you, Phil. Dude, Combat Sports Today is doing great work on Twitter. Go give them a follow. All I want is for this fight, Erin to be mommy. Luque wiped up Bilal. Forget the name inside 1 minute and 30 seconds. Bilal hasn't lost in years. Well, it's because he just doesn't want to fight anymore. It's funny how JL's two favorite fighters are just sitting on the sidelines waiting for a fight. Chandler waiting for his payday. Bilal waiting for the title shot he's never going to get. Doing grilled chicken with pepper jack cheese and barbecue sauce. Saturdays are usually a grill day for me, Dylan. It rained this morning, but finally stopped here. Honestly, if I wasn't going out for dinner tonight, I'd be grilling as well. Didn't Luque get dropped like 4 times against Neil? Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. Leon defeated his eye. Oh, he didn't struggle. You watched that fight, JL. Come on. You watched that fight. He didn't struggle. He absolutely... I don't want to say destroy because he didn't beat him up, but he just out-wrestled him, out-controlled him that whole fight. Yeah, even with Holland KO with the jab, I don't think Buckley will get the win. Do you want to bring up Neil versus Luque? Mind telling me who Bilal last lost to? Holland's also bigger, more XP, longer reach. Yo, what's up, Igor? Good to see you. What's up, my dude? Happy Easter weekend brunch. Yes, Igor McJazz. And yeah, by the way, big happy Easter to everyone in the live chat here. This is one of the biggest live chats we've had for these prediction videos. Usually people, they jump in for a bit, they give their point, and then they leave. But you guys, hanging out, talking amongst each other. I love this. I'm on an island here, but I got Luque. I don't think this is going to be a big brawl, though. I think Luque will be smart in his striking and probably try to out-grapple Buckley. Bilal still on a streak, unlike Luque. Well, I'm not arguing against that. Wait, we're talking about Bilal? I don't know who Bilal... I know Bilal Hassan, and Bilal Hassan's on a hell of a streak as well. Such a talented fighter. Actually finishes his opponents, which is a beautiful thing. I got Buckley's and Ranch for the win. No takedowns. I'm taking the French Bulldog on this one. Hoping Buckles, but wouldn't put money on him. He got a weak chin. Buckles is a dog. Drizzy Goat, yeah, he's talking about a fight with Poatan. He better knock Luque out. Oh my god. Dumas is on the D-Gen. I threw a bone on Ebo. Ebo getting slept, says Funkmaster. Really? You think he's getting slept? Like choked out? Turkali has no hands, so there's no way he's going to get knocked out. Turkali's hands are disgusting. And I say that in the worst possible way. The D-Gen parlay is plus 3,018 on DraftKings. All right, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna drop some money on it. I don't know, Chief. Kuzma subbing Bob in round 1. It's not even on this card, Jizzy. You could have just had Herbert alone on your bet and would have been a degenerate parlay. All my homies hate Herbert. All in on Silva. Safe parlay is plus 351. I'll hit it. Yeah, I mean, the safe parlay is not really safe this week because the one thing if I'm going to make a degenerate parlay, I don't want to put any of these guys' opponents on the safe parlay because they cancel each other out, right? I want a chance for both of them to hit. I mean, I'm not disrespecting Weidman. I don't disrespect the old guys, man. I want Weidman to win, but I don't see it happening. Let's go, bro. Thanks for the breakdown. Of course. Good to see you, Volcan. Volcan inspired the D-Gen and safe parlay. Weidman is dog tough. Erin Connor Emmers is plus 357. I like it. No, I mean, look, he's right to say that Weidman will lose, but to say fuck Weidman is disrespectful, bro. Hate to say JL, and the only reason I'm pointing that is because JL loves to disrespect the old timers, and he knows it, gets under my skin. So well played, JL, well played as always. Hate to say JL's right to think Weidman will lose. Saying fuck Weidman is just bizarre though. Yeah, there it is. I got Alex Poatan knocking out Hill. Dumas and Buckley's easy. See, JL, I would agree with you, but they're not the main event. I only can agree with JL now on main events because he's been killing me in the main event head-to-head picks that we have. I got Arman knocking out Oliveira. I'm so scared for my boy Charlie Olives. there's very few fighters that I like root for. I'm the opposite of JL. Like, I would rather see good fights than care who wins or loses. Charlie Olives is one of the only guys who like I cheer for like my sports teams. But that one's gonna be tough. Anton and Dumas will cause some drama. I got Gaethje knocking out Max. I don't think he's gonna knock out Max. Max doesn't get knocked out easily. He might beat him up though. I think Poton wins, but if Hill connects, it might be over. Alex got slept by Izzy. So, I mean, Izzy does have power. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be a fun fight. That one's going to be a fun fight. Buckley KO. No Roadhouse. Did you watch it yet, West Coast? Vicente looks absolutely locked in, and Buckley looks like he thinks he won already. That is a great point. I noticed that at the weigh-ins too. I don't think he's being overrated. Aren't you on? You keep flip-flopping, bro. In our Discord, one day you're on Poetan, one day you're off Poetan. I don't think he's overrated. I think he's rated exactly where he is. Maybe on the Twitter like threads or whatever, he's overrated. I'll give you that. This day's only 26. Weird because he has so many fights. Wait, he's not 26. He's 32. Rocky smashes. Oh, Drizzy, you're my new best friend. Let's go, Drizzy. Let's go.
Exactly that.
Bucky by Co is the juice. Stone hands, baby. Alex, I really think Aaron's going to make it look easy. Well, just go and see how good Manon's takedown defense is. Isn't it in like the 80-some percentile? Is it like 85 or 87%? I think she's only allowed one takedown in her last 5 fights. Mind you, or last 4 fights or something like that. Mind you, not necessarily. She hasn't gone against girls who are as good as wrestling as Erin Blanchfield. Chris, that make my stomach bubble. Chicken with the pepper jack. Alex the train coming. Yeah, my stomach's rumbling too now. Just how Erin took care of Mad TV character. That is Molly. Well, I mean, the difference is Molly has no takedown defense. Manon does, guys. Usman? Waiting on the brush your shoulder off tonight. I will see my pat on the back tonight. I just want to know what you see in Dumas. Because I understand what you see in Bilal. I understand what you see in Storley. I understand what you see in these guys. You're a wrestler. I know you respect that background, but like, what the fuck do you see in Dumas? Honestly. Pleasure Man gonna pleasure himself in the octagon. Funkmaster's fire. Chris, that sounds amazing, dude. No disrespect, but it's delusional thinking Weidman stands a chance. That's more like it. That's better than fuck Weidman. I met Weidman and his pops in person after he beat Gas some years ago. Nice, that's cool. No, I mean, I respect Weidman for everything he's done. He's not going to win this fight. Good morning, homies. For Weidman, hopefully he can get out with the win and pulling from my boy Luque. And Algerman same night. Cool, that's sweet. You know what's up, Roman the Faster? I don't even know who that is. I know Bilal Hassan. Bilal Hassan's a gangster, dude. Bilal Hassan actually finishes his opponents. I don't even know who this guy. I don't even remember who you're talking about, bro. Yo vlog. Do you like my vlogs? Hell no in Roadhouse. Roadhouse. Jail, you got to figure out your stance on Alex Prev. Expose your flip-flopping twice on discard over him. Don't make me screen cap this chat and make it 3 times. Jail, I've been a fan of Chris for a while. I have somewhat of a biased pick, but he's still my dog pick. I mean, we know his path to victory. Is he going to take that path? I don't know. Shoot, we've gone later than I expected on this guy, so I'm not sure if we might not be able to squeeze too much of a Cage Warrior stream in at all because I still have to shower, but I think I'm leaving my house in 2 hours, so if I quickly shower and shave, I might be able to jump on just for like an hour here. But let me fire through these last comments, and then we'll go do that. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with us here today. Really appreciate it. I like Alex, but his femboys are annoying. Fair enough. He might as well be 26, 32 is not far off. Guess those years. I mean, I thought I didn't think he was as young as he was either going into his last fight. I was like, oh man, I thought he was like closer, like 35. But it's because he's just been fighting for so long. Guess those years renting UFC 1 to 10 on VHS means nothing. I don't even, dude, I own them. I own 1 to 10 on VHS and 1 to 10 on DVD, and I own Pride 5 to 8, 5 to 9 on DVD. I had to buy them individually though. Vicente, the spirit of Vicente is 26. Damn, that movie was horrible. Topology is wrong. Isha remembers he even also used the term flip-flop about it. Luque would be 18, 2014. There's no way Luque is that old. Took out a 50K loan to bet on a parlay of all your picks. Don't let me down. Who are you, Funkmaster? No, chill you out there, capping, but I really put the house on Jaw Dawson when Isha told me to. Hell yeah, we're going to be streaming that, buddy. We're going to be hanging out with you guys for that one. Ishii made me some money. That one, I think it was Octagon card or KSW. Okay, well, I'm glad I sometimes make you money. I'm just saying, you guys don't put all your faith in me. Don't put all your faith in me. I learn just as much from you guys as some of you learn from me. I didn't really mind Connor's acting in Rodos. So from what I've heard of that movie, it's like it's a fun action flick, but that's about it. Like it's not like a good movie, but it's not a bad movie. Some are saying it's like so bad it's good. Again, I barely, guys, and I'm not even like, no cap, as the kids say. I don't even have enough time to get more than 3 hours of sleep every day. That's how busy I am. Between 3 YouTube channels, my clients, fucking working out every day, because that's what keeps me sane. Like, I literally only have 1 to 3 hours a night to sleep. So like there's no way I can justify watching TV or movies if they're not fights, right? Because in fights, at least I'm taking note for stuff to make content on or be able to stay in the loop and have conversations with you guys. So it's like kind of worth it. But like I don't have time to watch TV and movies anymore. And I probably never will ever again in my life. Chris Cushman, thank you so much for the support you show this channel, my man. The MMA holes will be streaming tonight's UFC event in full. Same with Rush Hour Fight Club. I'm probably going to catch a little bit of it when I get back from dinner, and then aiming to do Pancrase. Guys, wish me luck. I paid $35. I lost money on during Christmas on it because there was no way to watch it. My VPN failed me, but I bought it through a Bima. Was it a Bima? No, I bought it through some weird-ass Chinese site. I'm already talking the confidence out of my wallet right now, but wish me luck. Cross your fingers. Knock on wood. Luque is now 26 on the City Life Project YouTube channel. I've never seen a dude fist pump for 3 hours sleep before. Dude, it's better than 1 hour. So you mean to tell me that my jokes about your soccer kick KO VHS collection were actually just a real life fact? Well, I only have 8. I wish I had all of them. Isha's also serial killer, so he doesn't get too much sleep since he's busy digging graves and hiding bodies. Yeah, you hear about all those bodies that are winding up in Houston? Oh, he did. Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. But big shout out to James Lynch, by the way, a fellow West Coast Canadian content creator. Now, I'm no longer on the West Coast. I'm in the Midwest of the USA. But no, shout out to James Lynch. He actually grew up on the same island as me. Shout out Vancouver Island. And yeah, and he's getting recognition locally from the big Vancouver media that usually only focus on hockey and the NFL. So it is really cool to see James Lynch channel grow, his fan base grow, and him getting some local recognition too back home. Hopefully Kyle Nelson can get it done for Canada. And he's just a good dude. He's a good dude. Just had a kid. He could use that money. Sending someone named Larry over. He's good people. Ibo Aslan will represent us Turks greatly in the debut. Who the fuck is James Lynch? Really good YouTube channel. Really good guy. He's one of the OGs. He's been covering the sport for a long time, Dylan. And he's like he works with multiple different medias, right? He's very much like, I'm gonna work in interviewing fighters and doing whatever MMA media is available because there's not a lot. And what's cool about him, he kind of started off kind of like me, started interviewing regional fighters, built relationships with them, and now that they're pros, a lot of them have a lot of respect and trust with him. He does a show with Chris Cyborg. He has beef with Ali Al-Abdelaziz. So based James Lynch, absolutely love him. What's up, Hockey? Hockey, we ain't doing one. Takali with the pillow hands. I'm going to try to jump on just for a little bit, watch some Cage Warriors with you guys before I have to go to dinner. But I got to go shower. I got to go shave. My roommates are going to kill me because I didn't have time to get a haircut. So I'm going to have to freaking hide my hair under a freaking toque again. But it is what it is. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you all. This has been such a fun picks and predictions videos. I'm sorry it wasn't Thursday. We will get back in the groove of things moving forward. I know it's been a slim weekend of streams. We'll be back strong next weekend. And the weekend after, even stronger with some great cards like KSW and Octagon still in the fold. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you all. Smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you maybe in like half an hour, 45 minutes for a little bit as we hang out and watch a little bit of Cage Warriors. But until later tonight for UFC, Pancrase, and tomorrow for boxing, I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah.